and welcome to another writing vlog. If you're new here, my name is Stephanie and I am currently writing my very first book. You're spending the day with me as the life of a writer, aspiring author. Let me tell you where I am. I am currently at 22,800 words. That's where I ended last night. And today I will hit 25,000 words, which is a quarter of the way done with my second draft. I don't really have a goal today. It's just to write and see how far I get. I actually have a package coming today. So I have to be in the apartment for this furniture to arrive. And so I thought today's the perfect day to write all day long. It's currently 9:30. And I spent most of the morning just getting ready. That's what I do most mornings. I wake up, eat breakfast, get ready, spend a little bit of time on the internet, and then I spent a little bit of time, like 5 or 10 minutes, cleaning up and organizing the apartment. And so now I'm ready to write. It is 9:30, so I have probably about a good 2 hours before I stop for lunch. I am in the middle of this scene. It is kind of like this pivotal moment for the main character. And I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm like in the build up to that point. And it's really exciting. I'm having a really fun time writing the scenes because there's a little more action. Actually, the action will kind of slow down as she prepares to enter this turning point. But I wrote a lot of the action last night. I have a little more action to write this morning, and then it's gonna go into this pivotal moment for her. And I'm just kind of excited to see where she goes with this journey. I already know, but it's like, I feel like once she has that moment, then it's gonna be just like a little bit of a different vibe for the book. Okay, I think I'm done telling you all about my book, and it's time to start writing Project Lily. Post-lunch check-in. This morning I wrote almost 900 words, that was over the course of 2 hours, which wasn't the most productive, but there's kind of two reasons for that, which I totally expected. And that has to do with like not knowing the logistics of the small things in my story. For example, the one thing I had to stop and do a lot of research on was horses. I have horses in my book, and in this particular scene, the characters are riding horses, and I don't know, I'm trying to figure out the logistics of describing how they're getting on the horse or what they're doing to the horse or how the horse is moving. And so I had to stop and research a lot of that and watch YouTube videos about people mounting and dismounting horses, and then just trying to figure out kind of all that stuff in general and how to describe it in my writing. I was I was sitting here kind of imagining in my head and doing little acting with my hands and arms, like what people would be doing. So that took a little bit of time. The other thing I was struggling with this morning was I have some creatures in my story, and I was trying to figure out, again, how the characters could interact with them, but then how to describe their movements and what are the logistics associated with them. And that was even harder because they're made up characters. There's nothing, or made up creatures. There's nothing I can research to understand how that creature moves or how it looks or appears. And so what I ended up doing was Googling questions of related animals or related taxonomies, and just trying to mentally come up with rules for these creatures. It was a very interesting process because it was just something that I couldn't easily Google or watch a video on. And I had to kind of take some parts and pieces and then make my own decision as to how these things worked. That took a lot of time today, a lot more time than I thought. I knew this scene was coming and I'd have to introduce these creatures and, talk about horses, but I didn't really consider as I was writing how difficult it would be to describe these things until I started writing it. As far as what is coming up next, I just finished chapter 11. today. That's where I ended. I finished chapter 11, so I will start chapter 12. And chapter 12 is that really pivotal moment for my character. So I'm really excited to write that. Most of the action has stopped, and she's at the point where she is going to have this moment. I think it'll be really fun to write. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to write for, I don't know, like the next hour or so. My package is arriving anytime between now. It's currently 12:35, and I am going to write now until probably whenever my furniture comes. It's supposed to come between now and 2:30. So it'll be a nice way for me to write for a little bit of time, and then whenever that package arrives, I'll take a break and maybe put it together. I don't know. We're gonna see how this works. I roughly know how big it is, but I don't know how disassembled it is. Like, I don't know how much work I have to do on it or anything. So we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and start writing, see how much I can write, and I'll check back in with you later. Well, that didn't go according to plan. My chair is missing the screws to put it all together. So I can't build it. So it's sitting on the floor. I tested it out. I really love it. I think it's a cute little chair. This is going to be my reading/writing chair, and it's the perfect size for my bay window. That's where it's set up right now, and I can look out and people watch while I read and write. Hopefully it won't be too distracting. And eventually I'm probably going to get an ottoman and a small table so I can put everything on there and be a little more comfortable. But we'll see. I already put in a help request. We'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, I go buy some screws. It's not a big deal. I'm just a little sad because I really wanted to write in it tonight, but that's okay. Let's go through word count. So this afternoon I wrote 1,700 words, and that brings me to a total so far today of 2,600 words. I really made a lot of progress this afternoon. It went a lot more quickly because basically my character has to make a decision, and it's just a lot of her talking to someone else and deciding what to do. So there's dialogue, there's not a lot of action to describe, and I think that's what really slows me down is when I have to describe action, because I'm trying to think about how to describe something before I write it. Whereas with dialogue, it just kind of comes out. I also did pass 25,000 words, which means I'm a quarter of the way done with my book. This is crazy to me. So I started writing this book, or the second draft, 2 weeks ago. And in 2 weeks, I'm 25% done. So technically, I could finish this book in 6 more weeks, which means it would take me 2 months to write this draft. I don't know if I will be that quick because I'm having really high word count days like today and yesterday and the day before. But the reason is because I sat in my apartment all day and wrote. And the reality is I'm not going to be able to sit in my apartment every day and write all day long. I have things I need to do. It's summertime. I want to enjoy the summer while I can. So I probably will slow down a little bit in my writing. I've just been pushing myself really hard because lately it's a long story that I won't go into, but I've been feeling really motivated to work on this book. So I've been pushing myself to do that. It is currently 5 p.m. and I have just finished doing the help ticket for my chair, and I took care of a few other administrative things while I was, on the computer. What I'm gonna do now, I think I'm gonna go for a walk because I didn't Did I leave my apartment yesterday? I think I did. I think I went to like the grocery store or something. I can't remember, but I know I didn't leave my apartment yet today. And I want to get out just for a little bit. The weather is super nice. It's a high of 80 degrees, so it's probably around 80 degrees right now. And now that it's 5 o'clock, the sun's starting to set a little bit and it won't be as hot. And then I'll come back and make dinner. Then it's writing for the rest of the night. I have no interruptions planned. Hopefully none happen. And we'll see how much I write tonight. Can I reach 5,000 words total today? That's going to be the kicker. Last night I wrote around 2,000 words. So if I can write, all I have to write is 2,400 words tonight, and I would reach 5,000 words today, which would be really amazing. I'm going to get started on all my activities for the evening, so I have plenty of time to write tonight, and I will talk to you when I'm done writing for the night and let you know how it went. Hello, I'm coming at you from the chair on the floor. It turns out I actually have pretty decent lighting from here, so that's a bonus. I am calling it quits for the night. My totals for today, this evening, I wrote 1,500 words, which brings me to a daily total of 4,200 words. 4,232 to be exact. This is the most productive day I've had so far working on my second draft, and it's been 2 weeks. I'll be honest, I slowed down a lot tonight. I just found it after having written all day long and working on this book all day long, I just mentally got really tired. I've been sitting in the same place all day long, with the exception of my little stint in my chair. I've been like on the computer all day long. I've taken little breaks here and there, but it really just wasn't enough to help with the mental drain. I really hoped my walk would help, and it did for a little bit, but then I just got drained really fast every time I came back to my computer. I possibly could have reached 5,000 words today, but I would have had to stay up for probably another 2 hours. And I'm not into that right now. So today I ended I always forget to talk about the total word count. So right now my book is at 27,000 words. I'm a quarter of the way through. I did add another chapter. So now I'm on chapter 13. Chapter 13 is an addition. And the more I think about it, I'm probably going to have to add another 1 or 2 chapters. I can't remember if I talked about this earlier. My whole day has just blended together. But what has happened is I have realized, so the character has this pivotal moment, right? And then there is a time frame between the pivotal moment and then something else happening in the book. And in my chapter by chapter outline, these were subsequent chapters. So like she has the pivotal moment, and then the next chapter is this other big event happening. While theoretically it makes sense because that is the next thing to happen, I have built the book in a way that there needs to be more time in between these two events. What is happening in this big event? There needs to be a little more character development and a little more time spent with the characters getting to know each other. And jumping from this pivotal moment to the very next big scene, it just doesn't make tons of sense. I feel like there needs to be at least one more chapter in there. Even if I just kind of summarize like what's been going on for that period of time, there needs to be something explaining what the character is doing and why and how things are going, because it just doesn't make sense if I do it the way I had it outlined. And this also kind of did slow me down a little bit because I added this chapter, but I wasn't really sure what to put in this chapter because it was an unplanned chapter. This seems to be the theme of the day, is not knowing what to do with unplanned chapters. So I haven't finished chapter 13. I think I'm going to make it 3 parts, and I wrote the first 2 parts. That's where I left off, and I'll write the 3rd part probably tomorrow. But overall, I had a really productive day. I was really happy with the results. This is what a typical writing day looks like for me. It's not glamorous. I barely get out of the house, and I spend most of my day at the computer typing. This is the difficulty of making writing vlogs. It is not interesting. Like, writing visually is not interesting. I can talk to you about it all day long. I find that interesting, but it's hard to show you cinematically what I do because I'm literally just sitting at a keyboard typing. There's only so many clips of that I can show and creative ways that I can show it. It is what it is with what you're getting. But this was a typical day for me. Honestly, it was a little atypical because I worked on this book all day today. Normally, I only write in the night and then maybe a little bit during the day. And today I wrote like all day long. But that was because I wanted to truly write all day long and see how far I could get and really push myself, because I haven't truly done that yet, working on the second draft. And it's been a long time since I did it at all. It's probably been, I don't know, like 5 or 6 months since I've really pushed myself to write all day. All right, I'm getting tired. It's 10:15. I don't think I showed you the time, but I'm looking at the clock on my computer now and it's 10:15. So I'm gonna go to bed and get a good night's rest so I can continue my second draft tomorrow.